This is my brother's 6.0 Power Stroke, and recently he put on the Smedding 64.5 drop-in non-VGT, and he's looking to get a little bit more power. So what we're going to do is take the injectors out and modify them up for some more fuel. This truck is also running my welded standpipe kit, so it's a good time to take them out and inspect them, see how they've been holding up. So a lot of people don't understand how the oil rails work in a 6-liter. So this is the oil rail. These feed the top of the injectors, and right here is the standpipe, and this is the dummy plug. These are backwards compatible, so it can go on either side, so that's why they use a dummy plug. Some common leaks that you can have is around the dummy plug, around this plug, around this plug, the standpipe, of course. Very rarely do I see these right here at the end. Sometimes we'll end up blowing the O-ring or coming loose. And super rare is it actually splitting this cast iron oil rail in half. I very rarely see that, but it does happen. So this is the welded standpipe. We just took it out of the truck and just overall inspecting it. All the O-rings look great. The bottom one looks great. So this has been holding up excellent. This set here has about 7,000 miles on it. And like you see right there, the bottom O-ring even looks good. Like I said, I install Alliant O-rings on all of mine because those are the best O-rings on the market for the standpipes. So this is the stock 6.0 injector. We got it out of the truck. So now we got to break the body down. This is where this kit comes in handy. This is the Bitterroot diesel, but I do have my own kits available on cometsgarage.com to take apart your injectors. So you just install the injector holder into your vise, 27mm socket, and then it sits the injector. You go into there, into that little notch, to that little pin, and that's what holds your injector. The injector broke down. We could take off the body here, just nice and carefully. So when taking apart your injector, there is a couple small parts that you got to watch out for. We got the little ball here. It's a check ball. That's what allows your fuel to come into the injector bore. And then this is your fire plate. The fire plate goes right here between this plate and that plate. What this does is when there's a fire event, exhaust gases tend to sometimes go through the nozzle up the injector, but then it'll hit this area here. This plate blocks off your hole here, and it doesn't allow exhaust gases to fill up the injector bore. So the first modification that we are going to do is blocking off the spill port. Blocking off the spill port will turn these injectors to around 155 cc. This is the spill port right here, and right before the injection cycle, the nozzle or the plunger is slightly above this. So it goes down, shoots out a little bit of fuel, and then it closes off, giving it a little bit of a split shot kind of design, so it gives a little bit of a fire and then gives the big fire. But we're going for some more performance. We don't need that, so we're going to block that right on off. The size is 0.142, so we're going to build something to 0.150 and press fit it inside. That's where the Viver lathe comes in handy. So we're taking just a bolt that I have and modifying it down. So we got our little plug made. So we're going to go take this over to the vise and press it in. So we're just going to take it to the vise, put it in, and press it in nice and easy. There we go. She's pressed in. Ain't going nowhere. We'll grind that off, make it look nice and smooth. And just like that, you got yourself a nicely plugged spill port. The next thing we're going to modify is the plunger. Since we're going to 175 cc's, about just cutting this little nipple right off here is going to give you right around that. And just like that, you have a modified plunger. I did get a little excessive on the cutting. Like I said, you usually just want to knock this nipple off, and that'll give you right around 175s. But we're going a hair bit extra. This is going to probably be more like 185s. Now, after you modify the plunger, we have to modify the intensifier piston. So to get the measurement for that, I kind of like to put it in the vise and put it to full throttle and see where this plunger ends up sitting. As you can see, it doesn't sit anywhere close to the bottom here. So we're going to get our micrometer with the end piece and see how far in it sits. 0.875. Now, another thing that you got to take into account is the top here between this collet and the plunger here. As you can see, it does have room to go up and down, but the intensifier piston does have a little nipple there. But when you set it all together here, because when it's all together, this floats. I forget the exact amount. Let me get those measurements here. But see, that moves up and down. So after some measuring, we got 0.042. That's the amount of play we got between this, the top collet, and the intensifier piston in there. That's basically the amount of free travel that this has between the collet and that. So we got to take that into account. So the amount we want to take off the plunger is 0.86, but to take account for that, we got to also count into 0.042, meaning we could take 0.044 off of the intensifier piston. Now, we can make this a lot tighter and take off more of the intensifier piston if we modify this collet at the top, which is something I do. I tend to try to take off right until where this little edge right here. See where that goes? I usually take off to about that, but what we'll end up doing is I'll just take the 0.042 off so it has a nice fit into the piston here and the spring and have about 0 thousandths of play in this. So the goal for the collet, it's at 0.238 right now. We're going to go to about 0.196. So I modified it to 205, giving me about 9 thousandths worth of play. So we still get a little bit of play, which is good. And don't forget, when you modify the collet, you want to add a little chamfer to the edge right there. A little hand grinder. You don't need to be perfect. It'll do the job just fine. And on the inside as well. And then once you do it all together, we have next to nothing in play. About 9 thousandths is what it should be. So what we're going to do is minus 10 thousandths off the 86 now. So we're going to take off about 76 thousandths. So we're going for 0.767. So let's get that milled down. I have everything set where I wanted. All of my measurements are exactly where I want them. So we're going to do another test and see how close this plunger is to the bottom. Now, as you can see, we have it a lot closer. We're going to open up my micrometer here a little bit more. So that way you guys can, just so you know I'm not cheating, we're going to go right on in. Push it right up against. And we're right at 11 thousandths. 10 and a half. Exactly where I want it to be. So now let's put the top of the injector back together and we can calculate how much fuel that this injector is now capable of. So now that we got the injector back together, you can see where the plunger sits all the way at the bottom. Now we know this only goes down to 10 thousandths to the bottom. So whatever number we get, we're going to minus that 10 thousandths. So the number we got was 0.274 minus the 10 thousandths. So we have roughly 0.264 thousandths of travel. Now, to make this calculation a little easier, we're going to convert over to millimeters now because this uses a 6.34 millimeter bore. Well, that's not good. So to figure out your volume, it's pi r squared times height. And after all the calculations, McAdam, you have 220 injectors now.
Oh, rats.
Oh, gee darn. I promised him I was only going to build 175s. I got a little carried away. So everything I just done isn't going to give you 175s. You're going to get 220s. Cam, how much fuel did you want?
I was going for a daily driver. Not
all of it, he said? All of it?
No.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so normally you just shave off that little nipple there. 30 thousandths off this. That's 175s. I got a little crazy. I didn't think I was going to go that much crazy. I was trying to go a little bit more, so that way we can have it detuned to about 175s and have it a little bit more even, because if you're trying to max out the injectors, you're going to be limited to the way they work, depending on the fuel rate of each injector. Now, if you go a little bit more, you could detune it, and it could be a little bit more even. So I'm going to get all the rest of the injectors done, and then when I come back, because I only got a few minutes left here, we'll have the truck running. So we have finished putting it all together. The injectors are all built to proper specifications. So I'll go ahead and start it up. You guys can hear how nicely this thing runs. Ah, that sounds beautiful. So I've successfully built another set of injectors. They're 220 cc's, but they're with stock nozzles. We're not tuning it for 220. We're only going to be tuning it for about 175s. So we're going to get that done, and I'll probably make some videos with that after this is done, because I am running out of time here with the video. Hope you guys enjoy. That's how you build injectors in your 6-liter.